Hey, Bernie and Sid, this is Michael K. Just wanted to wish you a happy first anniversary. Pretty amazing accomplishment. Being on the air in New York for a year, that's a lot. The fact that you two guys could stand each other for a year, that's a lot too. But remember, don't do what other great tandems have done and break up. It just usually doesn't work out. It will with you guys. I hope I'm around to say happy 20th anniversary. Have a great day, guys, and many, many more.
That's our guy, Michael K., the great voice of the New York Yankees, as well as the host of the Michael K. Show, which does very well on 98.7 FM ESPN here every single day. Mike's a really good friend and a great guy. And the Yanks did improve to 2-2 last night with a 3-1 win over the Tigers. Vermont pitched very well. Brett Gardner hit a home run. And one of the folks in attendance there last night, as you hear this music in the background, which just takes you right to a Bronx Tale, is the biggest Yankee fan in New York City, the unbelievable actor, director, writer, producer, and a dear, dear friend of ours from many, many years. Froze his ass off in the Bronx last night, and looking very handsome in his Joseph Abboud suit this morning, the great Chazz Palminteri.
Oh, it's good to be here, guys. Good to be here. Yeah, it was cold last night.
It was cold.
But they won, so it was okay.
So you warmed up. You know, you're wearing a boot stuff, and not the last time, but the time before that.
Yes.
I walked into a boot store, unsuspecting at 3 o'clock on a Monday afternoon.
Right.
And bumped into you and your very handsome son, Dante.
Yes.
And you both looked great at that big night, which was the Joseph Abboud fashion show.
That's right.
And then, as only you would do, the major superstar that you are, you throw Danielle and I in your Mercedes, drive us to your unbelievable restaurant. We have an amazing dinner, and then you drove us home.
That's right. I was your driver that night. How's that?
By the
How
way,
good were you doing? I was your driver.
he couldn't stop talking about it the next morning. That you were driving him.
Yes.
I was driving him.
Yeah.
By the way, Chazz just showed me a video of his son playing piano at Billy Joel's house with Billy Joel.
Oh, Dante.
Yes.
Oh, he's listen, his son
Amazing.
and his daughter. Both of them are
yeah.
great musicians, great talents.
Who, by the way, you displaced in that car.
Well, his son Dante and his lovely girlfriend.
They took an Uber.
They ended up taking an Uber.
That's what I mean.
Yeah, we were going to take the cab or the Uber, and Dante was like, "No, you're our guest."
The apple didn't fall far from the tree.
He's a good man.
Yeah,
I was a great kid.
Like yourself.
So I spent the last 3 years explaining to Bernie and Jill that as great as the movie A Bronx Tale was, and as great as the musical was, and it was really, really good, I said the best of all is the one-man show. In fact, that inspired the movie because Robert De Niro went to see a one-man show many years ago and said, this would be a great movie. But if you enjoyed the movie and the Broadway show, the one-man show is going to blow you away. Now I've got a witness finally because Jill saw it on Sunday night. She goes, you're exactly right.
I was blown away by how he goes in and out of character, and it was just the best thing I think I've ever seen.
And he's the only person in the studio who hasn't seen or been a part of the one-man show, as opposed to the movie and the musical, both of which I've seen and which were terrific. I can't even imagine how this could be better than those two.
Well,
and these two people say it is.
And he's going to be back at Paramount in what day?
On June 23rd. The Paramount in Huntington,
right.
Long Island.
Maybe you'll come, Barry.
I think I will,
You'll be my
Chazz
guest.
Palminteri. I think I will.
Robert De Niro said it was the greatest one-man show we ever saw.
No, quite. I don't even think I can compare a second. And you know, it's funny because we get all these comedians in here, right?
Right.
And they do the movies and they do sitcoms. I don't care if it's Seinfeld or Maniscalco. Every one of them, their love is still stand-up. That's their passion.
Absolutely.
So same thing with you. You do this one-man show, and I see it. From the moment you hit the stage, you can Analyze This with Billy Crystal. You can do a movie with De Niro. That is your passion.
Well, the one man show, 18 characters. That's my love. I mean, I love doing theater, and I enjoy doing.
Well, tell the
that.
story about how you ended up writing that thing too. That was
I ended up because I was working as a doorman one day because I ran out of money, and all of a sudden this guy came over to me and said, "Let me in. I'm late. Come on, let me in." And I said, "Hey, take it easy." And he says, "Don't you know who I am?" And when a guy says that to me when I worked the door, I used to say, "Yeah, you're the guy who's not getting in tonight."
Was this at the Copacabana?
No, it was at a place called 2020 in Beverly Hills.
Oh, yeah.
It was the fanciest place in Beverly Hills. And he looked at me and says, "You will be fired in 15 minutes." I said, "Get online." Everybody tells me that. And all of a sudden I heard the owner go, "Swifty." And it was Swifty Lazar. And for those of you who don't know, Swifty Lazar was the biggest agent in the world at the time. And I just told him he can't come in to his own party. It was his party.
He was the guy with the big glasses.
And the big glasses.
Yeah.
And
It was
I was
his
fired.
party?
It was his party. That's why he was because he was late. And 15 minutes later, I got fired. I went home and I sat there and I said, "What am I going to do with my life?" I said, "You know what? If they won't give me a great part, I'll write one myself." And I got 5 tabs of yellow paper and I started writing about this killing that I saw when I was a kid. And after 10 months of writing, I performed the one-man show and my life skyrocketed. And that was it.
And so, again, June 23rd, Paramount, Huntington, Long Island. But also, and this is within the sound of our voices, it's April 12th at the State Theater, and I believe it's Easton, Pennsylvania.
Oh, the home of Larry Holmes.
Easton. Jill wrote it as Eastern Pennsylvania, but I'm sure it's Easton. Yes.
Easton. Holmes has his bar there.
The State Theater, April 12th.
It's a nice place. So this play, though, is you. Like, people always ask me, was that character, little C, was that Chazz Palminteri? Did that guy Sonny really exist?
Yes.
And it all did, right?
Yes, my name is Calogero Lorenzo Palminteri. That's my name. I mean, I'm C.
Very Jewish.
Very Jewish.
Caligaro.
You know, I got to tell you guys, seriously, and I want to say this, it's very important to me. This is your first year, and they say the first year is the hardest.
Right.
It's always the hardest. Right. But people always saying you guys are funny, and they're right. They're saying you guys are smart, and they're right. But the real key that makes this show work, I got to tell you, is that you guys are extremely likable and lovable.
Wow.
And that is the key. You could be smart, you could be funny, but if you're not likable, people don't want to turn you on in the morning. They want to like the people they listen to. It's like friends.
Yeah.
I want to listen to my friends in the morning.
Yeah.
And that's the key to your success.
Now, you're making us
thank
blush,
you.
but you couldn't tell with Sid because he's so tan. But I'm turning B red. Thank you, Chazz. That's very sweet.
Oh, that is really sweet.
That's coming from you.
And that's what we try to do. We'll talk about our families often.
Yeah.
We'll talk about things that happen with our kids. And I think what does separate us, and you just said it better than I can, but I think we're relatable. We don't live in a big ranch in Texas or a big house necessarily in Manhasset.
Quite frankly, we don't get paid that much.
No, we're just regular guys. No, we don't.
No, but you're likable. People want. Believe me, it's like when you're not on the air. You know what it's like? It's like a drug that's not there no more. Where are they? Well, oh my God, what's going on? Like on the weekend, you go, "Where's Bernie and Sid?" I'm telling you,
that is.
It's like you put it on in the morning. You drive to work. I go, I could drive. There's traffic. I go, I'm good, man. I'm good.
This coming from a guy that will go to the upper deck at Yankee Stadium, find some kid.
I did it last night.
And hand him a baseball. You did it last night against the Tigers.
Wow.
Tell us that story too. It's great.
What I do is my father used to take me in the third deck because that's all we could afford, and we would watch. I get very emotional, but anyway, he would take me there, and he would always say, I'm sorry we can't sit down. I said, Dad, come on, And from now on, every time I go to the game, I get a couple of balls from the Yankees. They give me a few balls. I go up to the highest deck where I used to sit with my dad. And I find a kid, a boy, or even a girl, so a little, standing there being with their father and their parents, and I go over to them and I say, "Hey, I used to sit up here, but I want to give you a ball because you can't get a ball up there. It's ridiculous."
Right.
And I would sign my name and I give the kid the ball.
That is so sweet.
And it's like I gave the kid a diamond.
Yeah, sure. I would imagine the kid would feel that way. Chazz's dad, of course, drove the number 12 bus across Fordham Road in the Bronx, just like my father did those years ago. Yes,
my father Lorenzo, a good man, a great man, and he was,
That's a moving story, and I'm not surprised to hear that because you are that kind of a sweet, charming guy.
And that type of father himself, by the way.
And I've been doing it for years, and I never said anything until Sid said, "Why don't you tell people that?" He goes, and I said, "Sid, I don't know." He goes, "No, I'm gonna." And after Sid did it, I said, "You know what? I should say it because
it's inspiring. It is. It really is.
It's a dedication to my parents."
You made me cry, and Joseph, and again this morning when you told me that story, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
Was your dad still alive when you made the movie?
Oh, yeah. My father saw all my success.
He saw all of it.
Great.
Yeah, he died. He was 91 when he died. He died about 7 years ago. My mother was 97.
Wow.
You know, she was so they saw all my success, and they were always very proud.
Was your
of me.
father happy with De Niro's performance?
Oh, very happy.
He was. Yeah.
My father and De Niro hung out for a month because De Niro said to him, he said, "Hey, listen, I really want to pick up your mannerisms." And my father said, "Bob, nobody knows me." He goes, "No." And De Niro picked up all his mannerisms. My father taught De Niro how to drive a bus.
Wow. and
No kidding.
you were originally going to play that part because De Niro wanted to play the part of Sonny. And you're like, if I do this, I'm only playing that part, right?
Actually said De Niro never wanted to play Sonny. It was always from the beginning. He said, "Chazz, I know you want to do Sonny. You'll be great as Sonny, and I'll play the father."
And did you film that up in Belmont or in Astoria, Queens?
I couldn't do it in the neighborhood because I would have too many partners.
Right.
All the wise guys would have said, "Hey, where's my piece?"
Yeah.
I said, no. We can't do it over there.
No.
And we got the real Eddie Mush to be in the movie.
You did?
No kidding.
That was the real guy?
That was Eddie Mush. We couldn't find Eddie Mush to play the part.
Put him in the bedroom.
So De Niro said, "Why don't we find the real one? Let's go up to the neighborhood." We went up to the neighborhood. I said, "Bob, if he's anywhere, he's by where the bookmakers are." We went there. There was Eddie Mush, right there.
Wow.
I said, "Eddie, come over to the car." I said, "Bob De Niro was in there." He goes, "Bob De Niro, get out of here." Come over to the car. He goes, "Hey, listen, I owe a lot of people money. I'm not walking over to no car." I said, "Eddie, please." He walks over to the car, he knocks on the window. De Niro puts down the window, and he goes, "Bob De Niro, it's you." So De Niro says to him, "Mush, I want you to come Monday. I want you to read for the part of Eddie Mush."
Wow.
He goes, "You want me to read for?" He goes, "Yes, come Monday and read." And Mush says, "What time?" He goes, 12 o'clock. He goes, "Listen, can I make it 3 o'clock?" He's telling Bob De Niro, and Bob said, "Why?
I love that.
Why can't you come?" And Mush goes, "I got to catch the double."
I figured the track. I knew it. I knew it was going to be the track. I knew it.
But
Great
I said,
story.
Listen, I got to tell you guys, the people of the Columbus Association, everybody told me to tell you, it's because of you guys while the Columbus statue has been given a landmark status.
Wow.
They told me specifically, I'll show you the text this morning, specifically, tell them, thank you so much for supporting the Columbus statue.
The one up in Columbus Circle, which De Blasio was going to take down.
Yes.
And yes, we went through that about 6 months ago.
2 years ago for the Columbus State Parade. Who was your friend that came
With
to
Phil
you?
Foley had told
Phil.
me.
That's
Tell
right.
you
That's
guys.
right. It wasn't that long
Yeah.
ago. Yeah.
He said, "Tell them, please. It was because of them. It was because that they did this."
Well, let us just say this. We love you. You
Yes.
have been a dear friend of ours for a long time. In my worst days in Miami, you were there for me all the time. I never had to text you twice, ever. And you've been a great friend of ours, too. So we love you, and we're so happy you're here today.
And you're invited to my restaurant, Chazz Palminteri's, anytime. On me.
Oh, thank
great
you.
place.
Look, listen, A Bronx Tale, June 23rd at the Paramount in Huntington, Long Island. Go check it out. Get rave reviews from this studio. And also, April 12th, State Theater, Easton, Pennsylvania. The great Chazz Palminteri in A Bronx Tale. Listen, again, we love you. Thank you so much.
We'll take a short break. More on Bernie and Sid.